Good morning, everyone. So I wanted to come on here and talk about my breastfeeding journey. I have two kids. I breastfed both of them. I'm still currently breastfeeding my youngest. So I just wanted to come on and tell you about my journey. We're in the car because we just went to Dunkin' and I figured I would make a video before we go back inside because the kids are being good. Caden's watching his preschool prep. He loves this song, so you might hear him singing in the background. So I had Caden in September of 2020, which started my breastfeeding journey. I am so blessed to have my body physically and mentally cooperate with me to be able to breastfeed both of my kids. So I'm very, very, very grateful about that because I know there's a lot of people out there whose bodies won't cooperate, whether it's physically or mentally, and they just don't get to experience the journey. And I do feel bad, especially when they're wanting to go on that journey, but again, things happen and it is what it is. I was able to breastfeed Caden, my youngest, and when I had Callie, I didn't know if I was going to be able to breastfeed. I wanted to mentally, but who knows what my body could have done. My body might have said, nope, not this time. You're able to breastfeed your first one, but not your second, so we'll go a different route. My body could have said no mentally. You never know. Like I said, I am very grateful that I've come this far. I breastfed Caden for 18 months, and Callie is 5 months now, and we're still going strong. I did say both kids were cooperating, didn't I? She's screaming, he's singing. Oh well, we're working with what we got. Okay, so while I have a free second, I'm going to finish my video, or at least try to. My husband took the kids inside, so I figured I would finish my video now. Okay, so back to breastfeeding. So, you know, they say kids don't come with a manual, because they definitely don't, but there's so many different books and videos and stories and whatnot that you can research about breastfeeding, and they do help. However, the thing that helped me the most was joining different breastfeeding mom groups on Facebook, because these are people who are going through it at the exact same time you are. So you can ask a question and people will respond back quickly and answer, or you can just be scrolling through the feed and just getting different ideas or getting information that's going to help you. So people are posting about their experiences that they're going through right now. And although that might not have happened to you yet, or might not happen ever, but if it does, then you will have some insight on it. For an example, I saw some people that were pumping, and in their milk, there was blood. So their milk looked pink. And they're posting, they're like, is this normal? Is this okay? And all the responses were saying, this is totally normal. Sometimes you have like a crack or something and it'll start bleeding, which will turn your milk pink. And it's just something that I kept in my mind, like, okay, so don't worry if your milk turns pink, or if your milk's green. Like, there's different things that turn your milk different colors, and that's just things that are going on in your body, and they're all totally normal. But if I were to pump and my milk is a greenish color, I'd be like, oh my gosh, something's wrong, something's happening. But now that I've read those posts and see the responses, I know that it's normal. So if that ever happens to me, I'm not going to have a freak out or anything like that. There's so many things that I've learned from this group, and just being able to get the support from people who are actually going through it at the same time or have recently gone through it, it helps so much. No matter what, it's something that you're going to have to go through yourself and just learn from the experience, or at least that's how I learned. So it's funny, I remember this is like the first week that we came home with my son, and it's before we kind of got on a routine. So I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and I was breastfeeding him on one side, and nobody told me that the other side starts leaking like crazy. So he is eating off one side, and this side is just like squirting everywhere, and I didn't know what to do. So I was just grabbing diapers and throwing it on to catch the milk. Like it's such a, I don't want to say disaster. It's just such a learning experience, and it's so funny to look back to and remember the different things that happened. And I was just so confused and like, what is happening? Why is this happening? It's just so funny. The first thing I thought to grab was diapers. I'm like throwing them on, holding it on this side as he's eating on this side. It's just so funny thinking back to all the different things that happened and just, it's all a learning experience. And then I also had different issues where I was feeling really dizzy while I was breastfeeding and things like that. And just posting in the group really helped and gave me my answers and the support I needed. So people were saying different things that you can have to up your supply, or maybe if you're dizzy, go to the doctor and have them check different X, Y, and Z, or maybe you need to be eating more. And that ended up being my issue. I wasn't eating enough while breastfeeding, so I had to add a whole bunch of different things into my diet. There were different smoothies and drinks that helped up my supply, adding oats to my smoothies, just little things that really helped me. And it helps you, it gives you the support you need. So highly recommend joining breastfeeding mom groups. And now, with that being said, it is so important to have the support you need while breastfeeding, because you know you're going to get opinions from left and right, whether it's family members, friends, random people's opinions. But you just have to stay focused and know what you want in this journey, because I've had so many people tell me, like family members too, tell me, oh, you're still breastfeeding him? Shouldn't he be eating real food? Or why are you still breastfeeding him? How long are you going to be breastfeeding him? Yada, 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 you know? And it's something that I didn't want to give up yet. So in my mind, yes, I'm still breastfeeding him. I'm going to, okay, let me put it this way. My original plan was to breastfeed him until he was 1. I ended up breastfeeding him until he was 18 months because I just felt that neither of us were ready. I thought that 1 was a good age where it was long enough for the journey, but short enough that it wasn't quote unquote weird or concerning. But in all reality, it's what you feel is best for you and your baby. It doesn't matter if you do it for 6 months. If you feel like you both are done and you don't want to do it anymore, then do it for 6 months. If you feel like you need to do it or want to do it for 2 years, then do it for 2 years. My biggest thing was, yes, I did want to stop, but I also loved being on the journey. So I really didn't want to stop. But when we got to 18 months, I realized that it was the perfect time and it ended up being great. However, I was so scared to stop because I really didn't know how to stop. My son was exclusively breastfed for that long, and he was like breastfed on demand. So I tried pumping every once in a while, but I really didn't have a big enough supply to have a stockpile or even have multiple bottles to leave him. So with that being said, within those 18 months, I rarely left him, like maybe an hour or so, if that, every once in a while. But the majority of the time I was there to provide him a boob to drink from. And I was totally okay with that. I know a lot of people don't have that flexibility, but I was blessed to be able to do that. So I know a lot of people would say, oh my gosh, like you have no time away from your baby. Why don't you start pumping so you can have time away from him? Like that wasn't a desire for me. I didn't need to try and do those things just to have free time to myself. I was able to do it. Not everyone is able to, both mentally and physically, and that is totally fine. But with my schedule, my flexibility, how everything was going in my life, I was able to do it and I wanted to do it. So it wasn't a big deal for me. But at the same time, you have all these people saying like, oh, you should probably stop breastfeeding. Oh, maybe sooner or later you should think about stopping because he's a little too attached to you. That was the other thing. Another thing I got a lot was, he's so attached to you. Maybe you should stop breastfeeding because he's just so attached to you. Things that you don't want to hear, things that don't necessarily even make sense. Just dumb things that you hear from people. And you need to learn how to just X all those things out. And the best thing is to have that support. If you're not having it from your family or friends, then get support from other people. That's why that moms group is so great, because they are so supportive in any questions, any scenario, any situation you throw at them. They're going to be so supportive because they understand they're going through it as well, or they have gone through it. So definitely add these moms groups. I was really lucky to have the majority of my friends and family completely understand and just respect my opinion. There were a few people who still were questioning things, but for the most part, everybody understood what I was going through and fully supported it, which was amazing. Now, my other issue was figuring out how to stop. So my son, as I said, was exclusively breastfed. And yes, he was eating some real food as he got older, 6 months and older. He was eating real food, but he was also supplementing with breast milk. He never had formula or anything like that. Rarely even drank out of a bottle. So he was exclusively breastfed for the longest time. So, mind you, I also bed shared with him. He's still in our bed, which I'm totally okay with, but that's for another time. So he slept in my bed, so he nursed throughout the night. It was just, it was a nightmare trying to stop. I had no idea where to start. As I said, for naps, he would be nursing. Going to sleep at night, he'd be nursing. Throughout the night, he'd be nursing. During the day, he'd be nursing. It was just nurse, 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 and that's all he knew. So I'm like, how do I even stop? I tried to do the cold turkey where I would just tell him no, 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 and just hear him crying. Just to hear him cry for you and your boob was so upsetting to me. I just wanted to cry myself because I wanted to do it as well, but I knew that we both needed to wean and it was time for us. I wanted to stop as well. You know, it was time for us, and that was the hardest part, to tell him no. So what ended up working out best for me, now everybody has different situations. Everybody has different methods. So what worked best for me was actually putting Band-Aids on, because I honestly did not think it was going to work, but it worked so well because in a way, it was almost like it wasn't me saying no. I was telling him, oh, they're not working. They're broken. They don't work anymore. And within no time, really, I was shocked. Within no time, he was like, okay, they're broken. They're not working. And I was able to wean him like that. So I would still I would take my boob out and he would hold on to it, but he knew that he couldn't drink because the Band-Aid was on and it wasn't working. I'm telling you, I'm still in shock that it worked, because I had absolutely no idea how I was going to stop this, because he was breastfeeding day and night. Day, night, all day, every day. I had absolutely no idea where to start. So that's another thing. I did go to the breastfeeding moms group and I was reaching out for support because I didn't know where to start. But yes, the Band-Aids are what helped us on this journey and to be able to end the journey. And it was amazing. It didn't make me feel like I was telling him, no, you can't have it anymore. It's an emotional time for the mom as well to stop. It's all you know, that's your connection, that's your security blanket. If your kid's crying, if your kid's upset, you just throw them on and that's their security blanket too. You know, it's such a wonderful experience to have with your baby. It's such a close bonding time. And I was so upset and really didn't want to give that up, but I knew it was time. So the whole situation was really upsetting to me as well. I cried a lot. He cried a lot. But the Band-Aids really helped make it seem like it wasn't me telling him no. It was the Band-Aids saying, nope, they're broken. And it really let us both wean appropriately, and it was like a soft wean for both of us, which I really needed. My heart really, really needed that, and I do highly recommend the Band-Aids. Now, there's been plenty of people who said the Band-Aids did not work for them, and that's fine too, but my method of the Band-Aids, it was amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better situation for us to be able to wean. As I said, every pregnancy is different, every body's different, every baby's different, so you never know. I breastfed with Caden, and before I had Callie, I had no idea if I was going to be able to do it mentally, physically. I didn't know if she was going to be able to do it mentally, physically. So it differs from baby to baby, pregnancy to pregnancy, and I was just super blessed to be able to breastfeed both of my babies. Right now Callie is 5 months and we're still breastfeeding strong and things are going great, so we'll see how long we're going to last. I'm thinking at this point probably around 12 months, and I think we'll probably stick to the 12 months now that I've gone through it and I know how to set my mind at ease and to try and wean. We'll see how it goes. But if we hit 12 months and I don't want to stop and neither does she, then we'll keep going and see how long we make it. But yeah, so that's basically my journey. There are so many more things to add to it, different methods that I've tried, different pumps and things like that. So basically, I still rarely pump with Callie unless we're going to be leaving for an extended amount of time and having my in-laws watch her or something like that. So that's pretty much the only time I pump. I just don't like pumping. I would much rather breastfeed my babies, and that's just me personally. Props to the moms out there who exclusively pump. I couldn't even imagine. My baby's hungry, I just throw them on and I'm good. I couldn't even imagine what you guys have to go through to pump and fill the bottle and the baby's crying and waiting, you know. I just, all the props to you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. But I just wanted to come on here and share a little bit of my journey. Please ask some more questions because, as I said, there are so many things that happen along my journey and I want to be able to share and help other people. I hope this video, this short amount of information that I gave, I hope it does help you. But I'm here for support. I'm still going through this. I already went through it, still going through it, and I still have so many different questions, you know. It's a new baby, still a new experience with breastfeeding. You come along different situations and scenarios that you really want support with. So I am here to help you guys out, for providing any answers to questions if I have it, providing support, just a friend, mom to talk to and share experiences. So please reach out, please ask questions. I will message you privately if you want. So really reach out if you need help, if you need support, if you have any questions. I am here and I hope to be hearing from you guys. But thanks for watching. I hope this helped and good luck on your breastfeeding journey.